Hey everybody, it's Andy from UnleashStrengths.com, and normally I write blog posts. I sit behind my computer and I just type on my keyboard, but after my back surgery last week, just hunching over a keyboard is not going to happen. So today, instead of doing a typical text post, I'm going to go ahead and create a video blog entry, also known as a vlog. So something happened to me on today's Friday. So Wednesday, I was invited to go to a meeting, and it was a group of HR professionals. And I was just invited to go and kind of tag along and sit and just listen to the presentation. I wasn't part of the group and really had no position to interject or stand up and talk. But the presenter talked about StrengthsFinder. Now, they were presenting on interviewing skills, how to interview somebody back and forth, and it was more like legality issues. You can't ask this question, you can't ask that question. But the topic of StrengthsFinder came up, and now there was about 7 directors of human resources in there from different organizations, and they all had taken the StrengthsFinder assessment. But they all responded by saying, "Oh yeah, we've taken that assessment, and yeah, it showed us a lot, but we really just didn't do much with it." And again, I'm sitting there just as a spectator, and I was kind of upset. I was looking around thinking, I'm a passionate coach, Gallup certified coach. Why would they not take this as seriously as I did? So then they moved on to additional topics, and my blood was still kind of boiling. I'm still sitting there kind of stewing, thinking to myself, why would you take the assessment and not do anything with it? Well, if you know anything about me, and you ever read the About Me section on my website at UnleashStrengths.com, I did just that. But at this point, that wasn't even in my mind. I was more upset that people were referring to StrengthsFinder as just another assessment, another tool, another Myers-Briggs. And to me, it's heads and shoulders above anything like that. So I went home, I was driving home, it took me about 5 minutes, and the whole time I'm thinking in my head, like, I don't understand what's going on. If we're trying to get 1 billion people to take this assessment, what is it? It's just a number if it's just 1 billion. I mean, are we lining up lemmings in a row and just saying, take the assessment, take the assessment, take the assessment? Or do we want 1 billion people who take the assessment and then use it in a way to change their lives? So I got back and I texted a friend of mine who is also a strengths enthusiast, and this proves his Jedi status to my young Padawan status. He said to me, Andy, you know, people take the assessment, they get their top 5, they get their action plan, and they may ignore it for 2 weeks, 2 months. Heck, they may even ignore it for 2 years. But eventually, it always resurfaces, and they always learn to look and dissect their strengths and use them to create a better life, both personally and professionally. Now, obviously, that's not 100% accurate. Not every single person that ever takes the assessment will come back to it. And we just need to know that some are going to slip through the cracks. But when he said that, it reminded me, man, it wasn't long ago that I had taken the assessment after taking hundreds of assessments in the military to find out if I was, mentally capable of going back to work after deployments and things like that. When I took the assessment, right here in the frontal cortex of my mind, their frontal lobe, or you know what I'm talking about, the only thing I think about is I don't want to take this assessment. I don't want to do this. This is just going to tell me a bunch of crap that I don't want to know. So I took it, Control P, printed out my top 5, printed out my action plan, took it out of the printer, popped a staple in it, in the desk drawer it went. And that's where it sat for 11 months until my marketing business, started to crumble. And I went to the gentleman who handed me the book and I said, what am I doing wrong? I need some mentorship. I need some guidance. And he said, are you living a life in line with your strengths? And I said, listen, I took the assessment. I read the results. He said, go back, dig it out of whatever desk drawer you shoved it in, try to fold it out so it's readable, and look at it again and really read it and dissect it. And at that point, that's when I knew I wanted to be a strengths coach. And it was less than 8 months' time from that point until I became Gallup certified. But I guess my point in this whole rant really is, here I was judging other people, which we try not to do, because they did not derive any value from the assessment and from the results. Whereas I was being a gigantic hypocrite because I had done the same thing. So for a second, I thought maybe the whole 1 billion thing was just a number. It wasn't about getting people really to understand. It was just a number to say we have 1 billion people take this assessment. And then I started to think to myself, well, what if a majority of those 1 billion don't do anything with it? And luckily, my friend was able to kind of bring me down off the ledge and show me that those 1 billion people will change their lives for the positive. It just may not happen right away. So it's not so much as a numbers game as it is time. But what's important for you to remember, as a strengths enthusiast, as somebody who loves StrengthsFinder, as somebody who may be willing to take the assessment and never has, it doesn't happen right away. There's a time delay. This is not instant gratification. This requires time, effort, understanding, and willing to accept the person you are. And until you can do that, this tool is not going to change your life. It's just going to be text on a printed piece of paper. Until you buy into it wholeheartedly, it is just another assessment. It is just a Myers-Briggs. So my I guess charge to you is when you're out there promoting StrengthsFinder 2.0 and you're promoting the assessment and you're promoting the mindset of a strengths-based development, don't expect instant results like I did. Don't expect because you were super enthused that everybody else is super enthused. Not only don't expect it, but don't ever let it derail you off your straight, narrow path that you have, that you've been hard charging on for so long to help others. It will happen. It takes time. My top 5: strategic, futuristic, woo, ideation, and communication. So you can see with my woo, I love, in my communication, I love meeting new people. I love talking about StrengthsFinder. I want to be the biggest strengths advocate in the history of the world. I want to stand on top of the tallest mountain. I want to stand on top of a pedestal in the middle of Shea Stadium and tell people how much I love this tool. But even me cannot expect instant results. So, in a nutshell, this is my video blog. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to hear more of the things I have to say, or you want to contribute content to my blog, please visit www.UnleashStrengths.com. Again, that's UnleashStrengths.com. We're also in the process now of creating new videos that are covering the 34 themes, and we'll be getting some pretty solid feedback from that as well. So I'm hard charged. I'm doing everything I can. I got a great support system. My wife and my kids are all strengths aware, and it's a common language in my household, and I hope it becomes one in yours. Again, my name is Andy Sokolovich from Unleash Strengths. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.